Welcome to the Fit Vegan Podcast, the show where we help you optimize your health, fitness, and mindset on a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. My name is Maxime Sigouin. I am a former triathlete, powerlifter, bodybuilder, and basketball player, and I've been vegan for over 9 years. I'm also the founder and CEO of Fit Vegan Coaching, which has helped over 500 vegans from 20 different countries to completely transform their bodies and their health. I'm excited for you to hear today's episode. Let's get into the show. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fit Vegan Podcast. Probably read the title, I don't have time, which is such a reason that I hear often when it comes to people stepping up to transform their body and their health. And today I wanted to talk about it. So there's two aspects of not having time. We can look at it from a macro or a micro perspective. So from a macro perspective, you potentially don't have time because you're traveling, there's business trips, there's weddings, we're moving, there's things like that that are coming up, right? And from a micro aspect, we can look at it on a day-to-day basis. Like I don't have time in a day, in a week to get things done, to prioritize my health, to work out, to meal prep, or to, even eat healthy. So here's the thing I want to ask you. Has there ever been a time in your life where absolutely nothing happened for 6 months to a year and where it would have been the perfect condition for you to start working out and eat healthy? I already know the answer. The answer is no. Life doesn't work that way. There's always going to be something that's going to show up, especially for 6 months to a year, because if you want to actually transform your body properly, if you want to lose 20 pounds of fat, you're looking at 6 months of transformation. You're looking at 3 months of fat loss, 3 months of reverse dieting, so we can speed up your metabolism post-fat loss to sustain your new body while eating a ton of food. So minimum, you need 6 months to lose 20 pounds. And if you want to lose more, you're looking at an extended period of time. On average, our members are with us for a year to a year and a half because they do multiple phases. They'll do like a fat loss phase, a muscle building. They'll do different things depending on their goal, if they're preparing for a race or something like that. But if you're looking at 6 months to a year, there's never been a time where it's actually been the perfect time. And then the other thing I want to present to you is that it simply comes down to priority. What are you currently prioritizing? Right? And again, we're not chatting face to face, so you can be honest with yourself. And I want you to write down on a piece of paper, where are you spending the majority of your time? What is taking up the majority of your time? And list all the things that you do. Right? How many hours of TV are you watching per day? How much time are you spending on your phone, on social media per day? Right? Maybe currently you're working out, you're not seeing any progress, or you want to and you're not seeing any progress, or you don't feel like you have time. Here's the thing that needs to shift when it comes to having time for your health and your body, right? There's the cliche saying that if you don't make time for your wellness, you'll have to make time for your illness. And that's very true. I've experienced that on a personal level. If you don't take care of yourself, eventually you'll be forced to take care of yourself. And not only will you be forced to take care of yourself, but you will also force other people to take care of you, aka your partner or your parents or your friends or whoever loves you around you once you get sick. And so, in my opinion, it's selfish for you to not prioritize your health and to start eating healthy and to get your body at a healthy weight. It is selfish because if you don't take care of you, you're going to force others and put pressure on the people around you that love you. You're going to worry them so that they have to take care of you. And so from that aspect, it's actually really selfish for you to not take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself for others, but also for yourself. So just want to throw that out there. The common misconception I see for people that want to transform their body is they think that they have to do more, right? If we look at our day and we want to include eating healthier and being physically active, we have to understand that it's not about adding hours of things to do on a day-to-day basis. Listen, you're already eating. A workout can take you 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how we structure it. You have 30 to 45 minutes in your day. Even if you're just going to train at home because you don't have time to go to the gym, there's always a way to make it work. I've had members lose 50 pounds with home workouts because they didn't have time to drive to the gym. The time excuse doesn't work here. It simply comes down to looking at what's on your plate, removing what's not working and just being efficient with what is on your plate. And you also need to start looking at patterns, because some of you have a tendency, and myself included, so I'm not pointing fingers on anyone, I'm just going to point it at myself. We have our plate that's full, and then we realize that our plate is full, and then we remove things from our plate. But now because there's free space, we add more things to the plate, and then it spills over, and then we have a second plate that we're trying to balance because we have so many things going on. You have to look at your life and realize and look at what's actually important to you. And is this allowing you to become the best, healthiest, fittest version of yourself? And you being healthy and fit will allow you to be a better parent, a better partner, better at your work, better in any relationship that you're at, and anything else in your life. Because if you're unhealthy, unfit, and that's going to affect your sleep and your health over time, and inflammation, you might be in pain. Don't you think that you just be a cranky person around others, right? I've done a ton of interviews with our Fit Vegan Success Story with some of our members that are moms. They're like, I'm such a better parent because I started taking care of myself. I used to be tired and just like my body was hurting. So I was like, undoubtedly I was cranky to my kids a little bit. But now because I feel good, I can be more present with them. I have energy to play with them. So again, bring it back to it's selfish for you to not prioritize your health and your body. So if you're using time as an excuse, one, let's just abolish that, right? Realistically, when will you ever have time if you don't make the time? Has there ever been, again, 6 months to a year where nothing has happened, where you could have taken this on? I can guarantee you that no. Second is you need to prioritize yourself. If you don't, it's actually selfish of you to not, because you're going to put pressure on other people to take care of you in the future because you got sick, right? And then third, from a macro aspect and from a micro aspect, it simply comes down to looking what's out on your plate, removing what's not working, and focusing on what is actually working. Because again, you have to eat food every day. Let's just change the food that's going in your mouth. That's going to make a significant difference, right? Everyone can work out 3 to 4 times, 30 to 45 minutes per week. Everyone has that time. If you think that you don't, I challenge you to email me your schedule and I will find time for you in your freaking schedule. The thing that I want is I want your iPad and iPhone screen time consumption, where you're spending your time, and then you send me your calendar. I can promise you that I'll find time, right? And I actually want someone to take me up on that, right? If you feel like you actually don't have time, send me all these pieces of information and I will help you find time. You know where you're wasting your time. You know where you could be working out. You're just not. And so I shared this in a few podcast episodes ago about scheduling your non-negotiables in a week, right? Grabbing a blank sheet of paper for your week from Monday to Sunday. Put when you have your morning routine, when you're drinking your coffee before work, put the time you're driving to work, put your work time, put the time you're driving back from work, and then put the time that you start preparing dinner and put the kids to bed, whatever your schedule is. All right. There is a time, maybe when you come back from work, you can go to the gym. Maybe on your lunch break, you can go to work. Maybe you can wake up a little bit earlier and do a home workout before you go to work, which would mean, unfortunately, you cutting Netflix short so you can go to bed on time. Listen, I've coached over 500 people. I dealt with all the scenarios. There's always a way to make it work. When there's a will, there's a way. And, this may be an extreme example, but gun to the head, you have to work out 4 times a week. Would you find a way to do it? Absolutely you would, because it would then become a priority. Currently, it is not a priority, and people tend to wait until they get sick before they make it a priority. So I invite you to do it before it actually becomes a pressing priority. So you have time, you just have to find it, and you just have to actually prioritize it. Those are the only things that matter. So I just want you to be honest with yourself. Do you actually lack time, or you're simply not organized with your schedule and you're not prioritizing it? Because 99.9% of the time when I spoke to people and I looked at their schedule, I was able to find time. There was just simply a lack of willingness to want to put in the effort, right? It was nothing from the physical world that was the issue to get them to work out. It was all a mental thing. And so the time constraint is a mental thing. And the other part is, when this season is done, then I'll be able to do it. When I'm done moving, then I'll have time to do it. When this wedding season is done, then I'll have time to move. When the school year is done, then I'll be able to start working out. When the school year starts and the kids are in school, then I'll be able to start working out. One thing I want you to realize is that when you get there, something else will show up. When you're done moving, something else will show up. You got to unpack. You got to furnish the house. Listen, I just moved to another country. I had 3 days to pack my home in Los Angeles and drive back to Canada and live in an Airbnb for a month. And now finally just moved into my new home. I worked out the whole way through, right? I didn't miss any workout at all the whole way through because I knew it was a priority to me. It was ingrained into who I am. And that didn't come easy, and that came with time. But I'm just sharing this because the moving excuse is not a reason. Like, you're literally not moving every minute of the day that you're up. You have time to go and work out. You have to eat food every day, so just make a wiser decision when you're eating the food. So the when-then fallacy doesn't apply, because when you get there, something else will show up. All right? And so if you've been using the time excuse for a long time and you want help with your schedule, hey, send me a screenshot on Instagram. I'll send you a voice memo, or whatever. And if you're actually interested in transforming your body and want help with your schedule so we can get you to transform, then there's a link down below where you can book your free consultation call with us, and we can help you with that. But besides that, like, eliminate that excuse from your life. It literally is an excuse. It is a reason that you're using to not do the work that you know you should be doing. Because I promise you, if you're just waiting for the perfect time, I will talk to you in 50 years and you're still going to be in the same position. Hopefully you're not sick by then and you were forced to make it a priority. But again, I just want you to remember that it is selfish for you to not prioritize yourself, because you owe it to yourself, to your partner, to your kids if you have kids, to your parents, to your friends around you, to be the best version of you. And how can you be that if you're carrying excess weight that is causing you to be in pain, to have low energy, to have more inflammation in your body? How can you be the best version of you if you're going through all of these things? All right? No one's the best version of themselves when they're sick. Never. I'm not the best version of myself when I'm sick. Right? You need to keep yourself healthy, because if you don't, again, you're putting that pressure on other people. And so this little podcast episode was just a wake-up call, right? Ultimately, stop making excuses, because there's someone out there in the world in a worse position than you that is doing more than you. And I always love to use this example when I get parents like, but I have 2 kids and I work a full-time job. I'm like, that's great. We've had a single mom who works 70 hours a week with 3 kids crush her transformation and lose 30 pounds, right? You have a partner to help you with the kids. You have 2. You're working only 40 hours a week. This person working 70 hours a week with 3 kids and was still able to crush her transformation. Always remember that there's someone out there with less than you making more than you. Always remember that. Just humble yourself, because that excuse doesn't apply. It simply comes down to priority and dedication and you actually being committed. And here's the thing. You have to be truthful with yourself. If you are actually not committed to the goal, just say it. Don't say that you want to do it, but you can't because of all of these things, because that's bullshit, because there's people with less than you actually making it happen. So if you want it, but don't really want, just say it, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but at least you're being honest with yourself as to why you're not reaching your goal. If not, you're just reinforcing the fact in your mind that, like, when you want something, you don't do shit about it, and then therefore you never get it. And then anytime you want something, you don't take it on because you're like, well, I never acted on the other things in the past. You're just reinforcing that part of your identity, that you're not an action taker, that you don't get shit done. And when you want something, it's not important enough and you never take action. How can you live a life of purpose and fulfillment and think that you're the shit? Like, you need to think that you're the shit. I think I'm the shit. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it 100%, right? Like, I promised one of my mentors that I would get all my podcasts recorded. This is my 6th podcast this morning that I'm recording, right? This is my 6th different outfit that I'm recording. I am dedicated. I am committed to the process. There's no excuses here, right? You need to reinforce this habit in your mind and this part of your identity that you do what you say you're going to do. And when you want something, you actually taking action on it because it's important to you. That's what needs to be reinforced. So the time excuse is out the window. Every time someone tells me that they don't have time, to me, it just tells me that they're not ready to prioritize themselves. That's simply what it means. It's not that they physically don't have time, because we can always find time. Or I don't know where my phone is. I don't really like opening my phone, but my phone the phone is a time sucker for a lot of people. The iPad is a time sucker. The Netflix is a time sucker. I can find you several hours in your week to work out and meal prep. Just simply there's a lack of willingness to do so. So guys, use this podcast as a wake-up call. It's time for you to wake up. It's time for you to take action on the things that matter to you. Put the excuses aside. Whatever you tell yourself, is it actually the reason as to why you're not doing it? You're not actually willing to put in the work, or maybe you just lack guidance and you don't know how to do it. That's what I'm here for. That's what coaches are here for. Maybe it's a lack of resources. You don't know what to eat. That's what I'm here for. My Instagram has tons of recipes. I post so many recipes every single week that you guys can have basically a cookbook every single month. There's free resources out there. Go and use those. If you know what my Instagram is, there's a link down below. You can go and check it out. Tons of recipes. I think there's a link in the show notes for some recipes, right? So just download those free recipes. Get started somehow. All right. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this podcast episode. I hope that you're ready to put this time excuse aside and actually make time for yourself. And again, it's simply about prioritizing and being efficient with what you're doing. Remove what's on your plate that is not serving where you want to go, and prioritize the things that are going to bring you where you actually want to go. Stop saying yes to everyone. Start saying no to the things that don't matter to you. All right. So hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.